my name is Celine and welcome to my channel. I'm starting a series called Well Hello Grace. I'm so glad you're here. I'm currently on school holidays and in between my planning. I wanted to invite you to take a moment just to pause like I need to. This is a series that is about the subtle but powerful ways that grace shows up in our lives, especially when we're not even looking for it. Today we're talking about grace in the classroom because, let's be honest, some days showing up is like a miracle. As a teacher, I need grace every day. You'd think the holidays would be all rest and rejuvenation, but sometimes the first few days, just like this one here that I've just had, it feels like we're in recovery mode. The first few days I was sick. Sometimes it takes up to the whole week to actually recover from that sickness. Like you still carrying the term with you, still waking up thinking, do I have yard duty today? Do I have my lessons printed? Do I have the worksheets sorted? And maybe deep down you're wondering why I'm still tired, why my shoulders are heavy. I want to say something very clearly today, that I'm feeling exhausted, emotionally flat, or a bit lost at times, but it's okay. We're not failing. We are just human. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves, and I need to remind myself of that. And grace, it meets us there. Let me tell you something that happened at the end of last term. No names, no details, just a moment. I walk into a class at the start of the last week of term, already drained. The energy wasn't present. I felt invisible, and I just remember standing there thinking, I can't do this. I have nothing left to give. What about the kids? Are they going to play up? I don't know if I'll be able to cope. And in that very moment, I prayed because I was desperate for help, and I just needed something, anything to last until the end of the day. Not a voice, not a thought, just a presence. And one word: grace. It didn't solve the lesson. It didn't fix the attitude. It didn't fix anything in the lesson or the day. But it gave me the strength, that little bit of strength that I needed to keep me present and standing, to keep me trying, to keep me showing up, just by being there. And that's grace. We're not always in a space where we can explicitly talk about our faith or share about God, especially in a classroom. But that doesn't mean that grace is absent. Grace shows up in the decision to smile when you could sigh, choosing patience with a student who pushes your limits constantly. Choosing to put that extra effort into the student who doesn't try, who constantly pushes your limits, who constantly whinges and complains, who gets on your nerves, or who's struggling. Choosing to take a deep breath instead of snapping. You don't have to say the word Jesus to reflect him. Sometimes the most powerful witness is in your tone, your boundaries, and your peace. There is this pressure sometimes to be the teacher who always is positive, or the teacher who is always prepared and on time and always professional. But what about when you're not? When you're not perfect, when you're stretched, when you're worn down and you're just done because you're human. Grace is the permission to not be perfect. I have to remind myself that I don't have to be perfect. To acknowledge that I'm allowed to be empty. To acknowledge the empty tank and still be held by him. It's okay to pray, Lord, I'm just showing up in person. That's all I've got today. And it's okay to know that's enough. But often I forget to feel like I'm enough, and I feel like I have to do it by myself because the environment and the world that we live in feels so cold when it comes to God. I'm about to go back to school for a new term. And the encouragement for you as well as for me is that if all we did was show up, that will be enough. Grace sees our tiredness, our efforts behind the scenes, our little silent victories that no one else sees or applauds or even compliments. That's okay. We just have to remind ourselves, you don't have to feel strong to be strong. And you don't have to be full to be faithful. Let grace do the heavy lifting for you and for me. Just keep showing up. Because if we remind ourselves that, we will get through it because He's there and it is there to help us.